My name is Timothy Tyrone Harris, and three of my best jobs I've had in my entire life was here in Florida. All three companies went bankrupt, and the next thing I noticed, I was caught in the storm when the millions of people in the United States were laid off. And then the next thing I became, I noticed I'm homeless for 3+ years. And this is my palace and headquarters. At nighttime, there's when I look on the highway, one time I looked and it looked like there was a stretch limousine. And I looked again and there was three very, very close driven vehicles that were right next to each other. It looked just like a limousine. And one day I was laying down and I thought I heard the loudest, biggest mosquito, and I whacked on my ear, and guess what? It turned out to be a semi late at night that was traveling on the highway. Sounds exactly like a mosquito. It just unbelievable. And what it is that I have to close my windows at nighttime because there's so many different types of mosquitoes that come in the truck. And actually you can see here I have two mosquito bites there. And so I have to sleep with my windows up because of the mosquitoes. And also there are some nights when I have to go nude because I end up sweating for 3 to 4 hours straight. So I'm using paper towels and towels to actually constantly dry my body, and then finally the temperature cools down. I'm talking about 3 to 4 hours straight. That's what normally happens because of the mosquitoes. One day I opened the door and a frog hopped in or leaped in, and he spent the night with me. And that was interesting because I never experienced that before. And I had a lizard on the other side, the passenger side, that was going through all the mirrors back and forth. And then it ended up coming on the door, and uninvited, it went to the back. And when it went to the back, it actually spent a night with me overnight. So I'm looking at a frog and a lizard that spent the night over. And on the weekend, for about 2 hours each day, there is a dragonfly that comes over and hangs out on the radio antenna. And when you look, it looks just like a airplane. And so I call the dragonfly one of my best friends. And I've also, there's a bee that comes in, and it normally hits one of the panels in here inside the truck, and it falls out for a couple of minutes. And I say to myself, are you blind? Can you see? And I say, well, one thing I do know for sure, you definitely can sting. And then I have rats that live underneath the palace near the engine. And like late at night and early in the morning, I can hear a big tail hitting the engine part. Boom, boom, boom. And every now and then, two of the rats will come outside and wrestle with each other and play just like kids. And one day, when my window was up, about the size of the palm of my hand here, there was a thick brown spider that was on this window, and it was moving very, very thick. So, I said, no way I'm going to put the window down, but it was big. And one day, it was a real sunny day like today, and it was like a hurricane or a twister or a tornado. It was just lots and lots and lots of mosquitoes that was like swirling around my truck, and I was wondering what was going on. And something told me to hurry up and roll your windows up. I'm telling you, my whole truck, in the front and on the side of the windows, the whole truck was full with babies that they were mating. But I didn't know that. And they were all over the truck. I actually couldn't even see outside the window that there were so many. And then I have flies. Whenever I'm eating, they just invite themselves. I don't invite them, but they're very selfish. They come over and always bug and bother me, and I always think back when I was a kid is that, it's time for you to leave, because I used to use fly swatter, magazines and newspapers, and I'm quick. So main thing I'm saying, it's you need to leave. And also, one day I was minding my own business and I was reading at the time, and I felt something over my shoulder. I look out to the left It was a huge snake that come out, checking out the neighborhood, and for about 2 minutes, and then it went back into the woods. And boy, I said, what the hell? Whew. I mean, it was big. And then I have to make sure that I keep my floor clean, and I have to keep my trash tightly sealed, because I have ants that are on this ground all underneath, all over, and they're ready in seconds for military attack. It'd be just like sugar and butter on rice or peanut butter and jelly on bread, is that I take them very seriously. Sometime if I have something left over, I may throw it out there for them to, have some food to eat if they want it, because they will attack it. So that's one thing I'm very, very careful. I make sure I stay very, very clean. Early in the morning, sometime I see a family of 4 possums actually together, and wouldn't think I would ever say this, but that was the most beautiful family I would probably have to say that I've ever seen, and I mean that from my heart. I would have never thought I would say that. And then early in the morning, sometime there are rabbits that are flying over the parking lot. I mean, they are moving. Rabbits jump, but to me, they look like they were running. They can actually join the track team of the Olympics. They were so fast, just moving very, very quickly. And then there was a bird that loves to stay out early in the morning, real late, But one time there was a black cat taking its time coming in the neighborhood. And the next thing I noticed, that foot, whap, and then the next thing I noticed, that mouth, and that was the end of that bird. So I warn all you birds, do not hang out at nighttime real late. You better stay home with your family. I would definitely say that. And one day, I thought I was actually at the beach. I was sitting on the bench, and I was writing, eating some snacks, and guess who was on the opposite side, the other bench? A stretched out grasshopper. I mean, just like we was at the beach hanging out. I say, look at that, and it was a big one too. One day it would rain, and then there was a beautiful rainbow. And I heard clip, clap, clip, clap. I said to myself, what is that? And it was the fastest moving, because we always say turtles are slow. Not this turtle. This turtle was moving. And so I said, where are you going? What's the hurry? And so he just kept on moving. But I mean, this turtle was moving. At nighttime, when the moon is full, it sounds like a band out here. Frogs and crickets and grasshoppers and whatever else is out there, whatever you want to put in the pot. I mean, making music, taking over the whole environment, just making music. There were some times at night when I will reflect myself in the truck mirror, and my mother and father is looking down on me, and I feel their love, and they're telling me that everything is going to be okay, and that the people that are listening to you, they're going to be behind you. To the spider. And so that's the experience that I have inside of this truck, and so I want to be able to share some other parts that are very, very important to me, and for you also. Well, I just wanted to let you know just a few tips, things that I've learned over the years is that one thing I've noticed that for your scalp, vitamin E is extremely good. It's the best thing I've come across. And I would say I would definitely recommend using sunscreen. I've been using sunscreen since I was I guess, teenager, and to this day I still do. So I would recommend wearing sunscreen. And one thing I've noticed that works very good with as far as with lotion, whatever lotion that you use is a baby oil. When you mix them both together, oh man, it's a great mixture. It just works out very, very well. It's very, very good with your skin. And then also, as far as bacteria and as far as cleaning your teeth, other than toothpaste, I've noticed that a mixture of hydrogen peroxide and also distilled white vinegar, and I would say baking soda, and 100% coconut oil. Works very, very good. One warning is that you can actually end up with an eruption of a volcano inside of your mouth when you mix distilled white vinegar and baking soda. It will, it will actually be a volcano inside your mouth. And so I just wanted to mention that. One thing is that, Mother Nature calls. I'm not always at a public library or not always at a grocery store or at the park. So, so when I have to use the restroom, I just wanted to let you know that I have to, I normally always change this, but I normally have to use this, for my pee, and I use this for the poop. And I normally use about 6 paper towels and 3 wipes. And the one thing I want to let you know that I do not litter. I normally always will put it in the trash can. But of course, you're going to have your buzzing flies, and you're also going to have, normally this is what I caught before, is that actually a beautiful large butterfly lands on top. And the one thing I thought about this, I said, I've never looked at it this way, that both of their last names is fly and butterfly. So I never thought that they really got along, but that makes some sense there. As far as vitamins, just wanted to mention some vitamins and some proteins, some of the things that I eat, like spinach, looking at up to 170% of vitamin A, and carrots, 150% of vitamin A, and sweet potatoes, right up to about 230% of vitamin A. And also, I love clams and scallops and oysters and mussels and mackerel and sardines, which has up to 14 grams of protein and up to 50% of iron. Tuna is also good, looking at around 11 grams of protein, and you have selenium, vitamin B's, and niacin, and nuts, 7 grams of protein, and chicken breast up to about 13% of, 13 grams of protein. Now there's one other food that I really like. I love, like, black beans and pinto beans and kidney beans, also northern beans and navy. But the one thing I will say, it normally releases a good smell of lavender, 10 grams of protein gas, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Okay. There's one of the best juices I believe that you can have is tomato juice. It actually has 170% of vitamin C and 60% of vitamin A.
Okay.
Okay. As you can see, I have 3 dishes here. I let on the weekend, the sun heat up the dishes. I have the sweet potatoes at 230% vitamin A, and I have your spinach in the middle, and that's 170% of vitamin A, and I have 9 grams of protein, which is the chicken breast chicken nuggets. My goal is to become a business owner, to own multiple businesses, to create high-paying jobs, to be able to help felons find employment, because I'm a felon myself, be able to start a foundation that will help the homeless and the poor, which I'm homeless and poor at this moment, and also become an author. I've have over 10,000 pages back and front that I have written here, so I'm looking forward to, I would say, a little bit over 100 books that will be published. And I'm driven, focused, ambitious, and committed. And we, us, you, me, and I, together can be exceptional, powerful, and successful. And I believe that you have greatness and brilliance and champion written on your heart and soul. 3 of my best jobs I've had in my entire life was here in Florida. all three companies went bankrupt. And the next thing I noticed, I was caught in the storm when the millions of people in the United States were laid off. And the next thing I became, I noticed that homeless for 3+ years and also become a felon. The one thing I told myself is that if the clock was reversed and started all over again, I wouldn't change anything. And the reason I say that is because tens of millions of people around the world will be inspired by the true story that they are watching. And also, I truly believe that this event will go down as one of the biggest financial comebacks in the history of mankind.